Alright, so in this question here, the first thing you have to read the question, read the statements in the question, and then you make a decision from there. Okay? Once you read, you understand what's happening, then you decide how you are going to approach the question. So the first question was saying determine the equation of MR. So this is point M, that's point R, right? Now, we don't know the coordinates of point R, but this is the origin, okay? So we know 2 points, we know point M, we know point what? Point O, which is an origin. And the origin X is 0, Y is what? Is 0. So, to do the first part of the question 1.1, we use our Radian formula here to the MR. Remember, point O, point M, and point R, they are collinear points. Therefore, MMR, alright, so the gradient of MR is equal to Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. Now, Y2, if I consider the point M, is going to be 6 minus 0 over 4 minus 0. And this will give me 6 over 4, which is 3. Which is 3 over 2. So the gradient of MR is going to be equal to 3 over 2. Okay? So if you did the question, you are supposed to be aware that the straight line MR passes through the origin. And at the origin, X is 0, Y is 0. Okay? That's the first thing. Then 1.2, calculate the equation. Now, sorry, we are still on 1.1. Now, that's the gradient. That's not the answer. Right? Write the equation y equals mx plus c. Then we choose the point. I'm going to choose point M. Y is 6 there. And M is 3 over 2. And x there is a 4. So if I simplify this, I'll get 6 equal to 6 plus c. And that will give me c equal to 0. Okay? Therefore, the equation of that line is going to be y equal to 3 over 2x. So this will be your answer for 1.1. Yes?
So would you still need to do the calculation to see that the y is 0?
Well, you can write the answer if you want. Okay? You can write the answer because if the line passes through this point, it means the y-intercept is 0. Therefore, after knowing the gradient, you can move straight away from here to there. Okay? Without any calculation. Alright? Okay. Let's get on. Right. Then the next question, it says, calculate the equation of line PR. So this is point P, that's point R. Okay, the point P. Now, this point here, we've got an x value and a y value. We want to calculate the equation of PR, okay, but we don't know the gradient. Fortunately, PR is parallel to MS. Okay? PR is parallel to MS. Now, in this question here, we are given the equation for MS. Okay? The equation for MS is given. Therefore, from the equation for MS, we can determine the gradient. Right? So I'm going to rewrite that equation on the next page. So this is 1.2 now. So 1.2, from y minus 5x plus 4, that's y minus 5x plus 4 as 14 rather. y minus 5x plus 14 equal to 0. If I make this the suffix, you get y equal to 5x minus 14. Therefore, the gradient of ms is going to be what? 5. Right? Then m of PR is going to be equal to m of ms. Well, the two lines are what? Parallel. Okay, so we say ms is equal to m PR, and that's equal to 5. The reason for this is that line ms is parallel to PR. Therefore, y is equal to mx plus c. Then we use the coordinates of point P. We know the x value, we know the y value. So this will be a 4, and m is 5, and x is -2 plus c. So we get 4 equal to minus 10 plus c. So you get c equal to 14. Okay? So now that we have got c equal to 14, it means I can write the final equation is let me recalibrate. Concept of angle of inclination. So this is how I would approach the question. I don't know how some of you did, but most of you did. So what I'm going to do is I'll find the size of this angle. It's vertically opposite to that. Okay. Then I know the gradient of PR, so I can find the angle of inclination. This one here, the one in blue. Okay. Now alpha is going to be equal to beta plus theta. Exterior angle of a triangle. You see this beta is equivalent to this angle here. They are vertically opposite from your grade 8 and 9. Right? Therefore, this angle is beta. Okay? It's going to be, so alpha, which is an exterior angle, it's going to be equal to beta plus theta. So I have to find both alpha and beta. Alpha and beta are angles of inclination. Alpha and beta are angles of inclination. Today I was not supposed to get on with this, but because it's a very important aspect of your analytical geometry in the next year, I told myself that let me use the first period to finalize the lesson on angle of inclination. Right? And I'll show you a second way of getting that theta using a method 2, which I didn't show you the other day, is the construction method. So let's find beta first. To find beta, we're going to use the gradient of MR. Okay, we got that, it's 3 over 2. So beta is going to be equal to shift tan of 3 over 2. This is because the gradient of MMR is equal to 3 over 2. So what answer do you get? What is shift tan of 3 over 2? By the way, you're supposed to have your calculator in front of you. Don't be a spectator. It's what? Like this. Right, so that's beta. Right? Now, to find alpha, we have to use the gradient of PR. The gradient of PR, we got it. Okay, it's 5. Got it there. Right? So we're going to use this gradient of PR to calculate the angle of inclination alpha. Okay? So alpha is going to be shift tan of 5. Why? Because MMPR is equal to 5. What is shift tan of 5? 70? Comma? 69 degrees.
Oh, yes.
Any question there? Don't it? Huh? Yes. So theta, now, to get theta, you need to be aware that alpha is equal to beta plus theta. Okay? This comes from the exterior angle of a triangle. Okay? If you want, you can go further and give a name to this point. Of course, this one we know. Okay? I can call this point here, maybe point T. So angle TOR is going to be equal to beta. Okay? Why? Because it's vertical opposite to that beta in the other triangle. Are you following that? So here we can write theta is equal to beta. Now be aware that if I want to calculate theta, it means theta is going to be alpha minus beta, so that will be 78,69 minus 56,31. This will be equal to 22,38. Is there anyone who is asking why is it not a minus? No, please, it's a very important question. A very important question. I need to answer that. Okay, it comes from your knowledge of equations. You see, you must know this by now. Okay. If I give you an equation like say x is equal to y, like this, yes. Do you agree with me that y will be x? Yes. Do you know why? Huh? The reason is because if you start from here, right? If I switch this x and the y, I can write minus y is equal to minus what? Minus z. And then you divide by minus 1. You come back to this. Eventually both will be positive. It comes from your knowledge of equations. So here, if I want to calculate theta, if I take the beta to the left, we'll get alpha minus beta. If alpha minus beta is equal to theta, it therefore means that theta is equal to alpha minus beta. Alpha is equal to beta plus theta. Therefore, alpha minus beta is equal to theta. But check this. If I want to swap these two, this is a binomial. So I can write it as minus theta is equal to minus alpha minus beta. Yes, alpha minus beta is one number. It's a binomial. So if I take the alpha and the alpha and the minus beta, I can write it like this, which you are used to. This now, we divide both sides by minus 1, and we end up having theta equal to alpha minus beta. Also, there is knowledge of factorization involved. Okay.
So, let's say you get the your after the compass, they are wrong.
After what?
After the compass,
Yeah.
they are wrong. So, like you got the 22,5, but I got 22,1. So, like this, you got 22,38, 22,69. Right? Yeah.
How did you go get 22,69? Because your answer here is that, and for beta and for alpha is that. You can't get another answer except that.
Oh, no, I didn't use that way.
Then how did you get your beta?
I said, you got the alpha name. And some angles on the straight line.
To get which angle?
The T angle, so on the straight line.
So, I hope I'm not misunderstanding you. So, forget about the T. The T is me who added it. It's part of my explanation. How did you get alpha and beta?
Yeah, so you see, alpha name. I I took that and minus it from 180. So that is a straight line.
So this becomes 180 minus alpha.
Yes. No, this one. PR.
You're talking about the one inside.
Yes.
They are vertical opposite.
You, and then beta versus opposites minus some angles beta.
Yeah, but how did you get the values for alpha and beta?
I really calculated it.
How?
Look, you didn't. I did everything else, but
Yeah, but if you calculate it this way, then how come you got answers that were different from me?
I don't know.
Show me a way.
Then when you run an example about 22 6 9 instead of 58.
Okay. What gradient did you use to find alpha and beta?
I use the 5.
If you use the 5, then you must get that. Are you all getting this?
Yes.
Is your calculator in degrees at the top on the screen?
No, that's a G.
Yeah, that's the reason. Whenever you are doing questions on trigonometry, on your screen, on your calculator, there has to be a D there. If there is R, if there is a G, you get an incorrect answer. The G stands for gradients, the R stands for radians. So be very careful there. Before you write any test on trigonometry, make sure on the screen there is a small d there. The D stands for degrees.
Question. How many things? Yeah.
Okay, depends with your calculator.
But are we going to use that instance?
Are you gonna what?
Are we going to use that instance?
Yes.
No.
Trigonometry is a major part of your paper. Okay. Is there anybody who wants to say something before I carry on? Okay, let's carry on. Alright, then 1.4, show that the coordinates of point R can be given as x is minus 4 and y is minus 6. Okay? Right here, we want to determine that the coordinates of this point, they are equal to x is minus 4 and x is minus 6. Alright? Fortunately, we can use the two equations, the equation for MR and the equation for PR. We equate them and then we end up having to solve them simultaneously. Okay? So, first, let's go to the equation for PR. The equation for PR is this: y equal to 5x plus 14. So, we have y equal to 5x plus 14. Then we also have y equal to 3 over 2x. Now, this is very simple, right? Because the second equation does not have a y-intercept, so we just equate them. So get 3 over 2x is equal to 5x plus 14. Take that 5x to this side. Now, remember, this is 1.5, so this becomes 3.5x, so it is 7 over 2x is equal to 14. So we get 7x equal to 28, and then x becomes the 4. Your knowledge of equations is required. We are equating the two lines because they have a common point here. That's a common point. So that's why you did simultaneous equations in grade 10, because that concept is required as an application concept. Yeah.
So it's not negative 7 over 2.
Okay, yes. Negative. Right? So it will be a negative there. So this becomes, alright, so the answer is x equal to minus 4. Alright, so this is the x value. Remember, we're supposed to show that x is equal to minus 4. Then, to get the y value, I can use the first equation. So the second one, y equal to 3 over 2x. So y is equal to 3 over 2x. And the x is minus 4. So this will give me minus 6.
So,
Yes?
what if you just sub in the original equation?
No, you don't substitute. You can't get 4 marks for substituting x equal to minus 4 and y equal to minus 6. if the question says show, that means you're not supposed to use the fact that the x is minus 4 and the y is minus 4. It's more like saying prove that the x is minus 4, the y is minus 4.
But this is it proves. It gives you the x and the y.
That's not how you do a proof.
Okay, how many marks do I get if I do that?
The best way they would use calculations to show. Use calculations to show that the point R can be given.
I think probably maybe you can say the phrase, no, the person can be misleading. So maybe they're supposed to show by calculation that the coordinates of PR.
So since it's negative, minus.
There's a gray area there. There's a gray area there. But, okay, my advice to you is use your knowledge of simultaneous equations. You, with that knowledge, you will never go wrong. You'll be assured whether whatever comes, you will get your full marks. Well, you see that I have shown that the x value is minus 4, the y value is minus 6. Especially the first one, either showing x first or y first. That part is very important. All right. Then the next question says, calculate the length of line MR in simplified set form. So MR, this is R, that's M, right? Now we just have to use the coordinates of those 2 points to determine the length. That's very easy. So MR, so that will be MR will be equal to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared.
So the equation is still right if you put the y's in the first bracket and the x in the second.
Okay, as long as you put everything in the brackets in this position, you take that x term in that there, you get the same result. Yeah, you get the same result. Alright, so this will be equal to, now the coordinate of M, we have got x equal to 4 there and x equal to minus 4. So I'll say 4 minus 4. Okay, so this becomes the square root. When I have 4 minus 4 squared plus y2, okay, is 6 minus 6. 6 minus 6 squared. So you get 8 squared plus, that's 6 plus 6, that's 12 squared. So you get 64 plus 144. And this gives you
4 weeks.
Before you simplify to set form. 64 plus 144, that will be 208. And then
4 weeks.
4 root.
So, different here, the 4 minus 4 in the brackets. Can you just swap it to 4 plus 4 instead of writing a 4 minus 4?
Okay, this is very important. Generally, you get a mark for correct substitution into correct formula. You understand that? So if you rush to just say 4 plus 4, it means you haven't shown us the substitution you did. So this step here, it will have a mark. Correct substitution into the correct formula. Because sometimes there is no mark allocated for the formula. But if a mark is allocated for both the formula and the correct substitution, like in this case, you see that is 2 marks. It's 2 marks here. So the marks that are allocated, 1 mark is going to be obviously for the what? For the answer. The other marks will be allocated here.
And then squaring 208.
No mark here, no mark there, no mark there. The mark will be given.
Yeah, that's simplified all the way.
Yes.
So,
No. The question was sent in simplified set form.
so What if you were to speak of the